Alright, time for the last treasure chest run from the backlog. This one I had saved for quite a while because the intention was that at the end of the video I was going to show all the clips from the Discord that have been submitted because I'm way behind on them. And that is going to be the case in this video, although I won't have every single clip. I'm sure there have been more submitted since I actually edited this particular selection. So this is obviously pre-update, so it's slower and there's no danger pack pets as well. And we're just doing the standard stuff where we try and get very early level 3 Stoat and level 2 Mandrill. And that will give it, and then hopefully we get Griffin from the Stoat. And the Mandrill will allow us to accelerate the rate at which we break the toy. So I guess we'll see it now. If you haven't seen any of these treasure chest videos before, I recommend starting with the older ones because as we actually face Inkster here, also going for the exact same strategy. So yeah, I'll link in the description the other treasure chest runs where I was specifically trying to get the earliest possible level 3 tier 6, which was a real struggle, but we got there in the end. So we get the treasure chest and I'm just going to take Deer and Dimetrodon to give us a good chance of surviving. And we face Inkster again. Obviously both of us were going for a lot of these Griffin runs at the same time. Kind of helping each other out, I suppose, in terms of putting out weak teams into the pool. So the treasure chest will break next turn. If you want to get the super early one, you have to pill 2 Mandrills. In this game, we're just going to pill 1. And we actually faced Inkster 3 times in a row. It definitely is quite addictive going for these runs, you know, where you feel like you're so close to getting a super early treasure chest and then it all goes horribly wrong. As we actually lose to Inkster this time. Both of us on 0 trophies. So we pill the Mandrill, we break the treasure chest and we get Komodo. Now, Komodo I think was one that hadn't been done before, or at least I hadn't done it before. Maybe someone else has. I was just checking the list on the website, a link for that in the description as well, to see which ones had never been done. Quite a lot of them haven't been done, but obviously there are things like catfish and so on, which are going to be much more difficult to get, no matter how many attempts you do. A lot of the more exciting ones, you know, have already been done, of course. So since I got a bunch of deer in the shop, and I already had one, we're going to try and go for a full team of deer. And Komodo obviously shuffles the team, but if all 4 of the units ahead of it are the same, then it doesn't matter at all. As we face Matchman here going for some giant squirrel stuff. Always nice to see that. So yeah, while this run just plays out in the background, I guess we'll just talk generally about treasure chest. I feel like this is something that probably is a bit has kind of gone under the radar in terms of nerfs. You know, it hasn't been changed. I don't really see too many people doing it. Now and again, I will bump into someone who has like a level 3 tier 6 on one of the, you know, early late game turns where you just never expect them to have a level 3 tier 6. And also the stat line will always be the same. You know, usually it'll be 12-12 or 14-14 or something because the Griffin spawns it as a 12-12. And I guess maybe I should try and record some more of these fairly soon because with the addition of Danger Pack, there are a lot more possible tier 6s we can go for. As we get a perfect draw here on turn 11. And a lot of the time what you find with these treasure chest runs is getting the level 3 tier 6 early. You suddenly have this massive power spike, but then by the time you get to the very late turns, you're starting to face teams that have all caught up with you. And if your team is not optimal, like mine rarely ever are, you're probably going to struggle. Although I've uploaded, I think, all of the wins from these, I definitely do have some losses in the very late turns, you know, 18, 19, 20, where I got all the way to the end and then lost on 9. But at this point we have so many runs still waiting to be uploaded that they might not see the light of day. It is kind of strange seeing the changed game speed. You know, game speed is something that's always bothered me. I don't like the faster game speed. But now that the game by default has increased the speed of each action, I think it just looks smoother overall, and it's not really bothering to my eyes, which has always been one of the issues I've had in the past. And actually on the test server at the moment, there's another feature on the way for relating to game speed, which is that at present you get the option of choosing 100% speed, 150 or 200. And I've always said that I would just like to have like a 125 speed that was in between the 100 and 150. Well, the next version is going to have a slider, so you'll actually be able to tailor it exactly the way you want it. So you don't have to choose one of those three options. You'll be able to go from 0 all the way up to, I don't know if it's up to 100 or 200, maybe the ordering is reset. But that's a super nice quality of life feature to add, which I'm very much looking forward to. I think when I tested it, it ended up that I needed to have 50% speed in the new version to roughly replicate what I felt comfortable with. So there's definitely plenty of scope for people who want the game to be as fast as humanly possible to make it go even quicker. So here's kind of a rare team here with Pteranodon, Nurse Shark, almost a golden pack type team. I think the fact that we had triple melon already probably saved us here. Yeah, because that was a very strong squad. We do still actually have 2 hearts as well, which is a bit surprising. A lot of the time these games I'm already on 1 heart. So the game has kind of been playing itself for a while. We've just got level 3 Komodo pumping out a huge amount of stats per turn. And then we're just looking for melon, and I'm keeping the base stats deer frozen to make sure that we can complete the 5 of a kind. And we might as well go for 5 deer with melon just to do 2 challenges at the same time, although got to say this is not particularly difficult when you get a level 3 tier 6 scaler that early. Another Nurse Shark team. Maybe something in the zeitgeist making these people play Nurse Shark at the same time. Unsurprising, easy win there. And there is the melon for the 4th deer. Now, normally with these Griffin runs, I don't sell the tier 6. I mean, the whole point is to keep the tier 6 all the way. So I guess in one way I'm throwing for the level 3 tier 6 challenge where I haven't kept it for the whole game. But I felt like in this particular scenario, we've definitely done enough of those before. I'm willing to sell the Komodo, and we actually roll another melon. So we get the full team of deer with melon. And it's another Nurse Shark team. I guess this is probably the same person as before. So they must have just been grinding for this over and over. Nurse Shark actually manages to get a KO on the one that didn't have melon. And then they get small one from the summon. But I think the retriever just isn't going to be big enough here. And our 5 deer plus 5 melons gets over the line, and we give up the level 3 Komodo challenge run. So these are some of the clips that I was talking about at the beginning. The first one here, these are all out of order. They're just, it takes so long to edit these things that I've just thrown them in any old sequence. So that first one there was 5 sausages, and I think that was in a weekly pack. And then we've got 5 chameleons. This one was done a long time ago, and I just forgot to include it in one of the previous compilations. And it kind of looks like the chameleons are in a bit of trouble here at the start, but look at the sheer number of snipes. They kill off the panther and one of the weaker lionfish. And I think this one just doesn't have enough snipes. Yeah, it actually misses the guy at the front, which I think was crucial. Or maybe it wasn't, I don't know. Maybe there were multiple ways they could have won there. But 5 chameleons ticked off the list for Puppy Pack. And then this one is really crazy. This is 5 Deer Lords. And I think this is in customs. So we've got the double 50-50. And then this is, of course, when the old Tapir existed. So Tapir would summon a copy. So the 2 Deer Lords in the middle knock out both the Tapirs and then summon 2 more Deer Lords, which is a very clever way of setting that up. Because of course it's going to knock something out every turn, so it's very difficult to set up, much like 5 Praying Mantis. The Peanut gets blocked. This team actually looks like it's free to play, but that was a very solid squad with a 50-50 and a 50-30 on turn 14. And then here, I think this is E with this solo level 3 Harpy Eagle, which is going to summon a 15-15 and just scrape the win. Don't see too many solo runs anymore, so nice effort there. And then here's another solo from Wombat with the level 3 Ant. Let me know in the comments if you can work out how you get the 50-50 level 3 Ant with Coconut there, with permanent Coconut. And then 5 Behemoths. I think that was in Unicorn pack, I'm not sure. Or maybe not, because there's Salt, and it might have been a weekly pack. 5 Sauropods versus level 3 Pelican, and the Sauropod stats are too much. 5 Hydras as well. I think this is also a weekly pack. Definitely looks like it based on the composition of the opposing team. The Scorpion gets a ton of KOs, but it's not going to be enough because there's a 50-50 Hydra still in the backline and takes care of Nurikabe as well. And then we get the pseudo 5-of-a-kind Hydra head at the end. And then we've also got, this one is definitely in Unicorn pack, so 5 Tsushinoko. I did a video on this one a while ago as well, where you have to have the everything as fairy dust, and then the Frogman is scaling them all twice, or most of them twice. And the Wharf team here just isn't going to have a chance, even though they had level 3 Team Spirit. And then the last one here is pretty funny. I had to look this up to try and work out what was going on, because it's Blair Witch Project Shaky Cam. But this was actually a turn 1 tier 2 Frigate Bird in Puppy Pack. And the screenshots to prove that it was a turn 1 tier 2 were in the Discord, but there wasn't a video. So we're just going to show the final turn here, even if the video quality was slightly lower than everything else.